Good morning, Sam.
Good evening, Mallory.
And welcome back to Nobody Leaves, the podcast where I make Sam watch all 4 seasons of BEASTARS, and we've finally done it. We've completed the Great 4. You know, they said we wouldn't be able to do it. We'd never cover all 4 seasons of a show by doing an episode about each season. We've finally done it, and we are now the premier people on YouTube talking about BEASTARS Season 4 because, Sam, I tell you, not a lot of people seem like they tuned in for this one. The last lap, the home stretch, it seems like a lot of people went home, but not us. You know, we stayed to the end. We stayed out the night of the Meteor Festival, and we watched society get saved and changed and fixed. So, Sam, what did you think of BEASTARS Final Season Part 2?
Mallory, we're watching BEASTARS the Final Season Part 2, and I didn't think it was possible for a Netflix anime to leave, like, zero impact on the world, but I think this one did. I gotta ask you, Mallory, was it worth it? Was watching 4 seasons of this questionable quality anime worth it just to wear bunny ears for, 4 different episodes?
Well, I was about to have a more negative answer, and then you reminded me about the bunny ears, and now I'm kind of conflicted because I am happy to have these on at all times. Again, as I said, I've, my furry journey throughout these 4 episodes of trying.
Yeah, that got kind of dropped at one point.
Trying so hard to appropriate this culture that I'm just not a part of, and I, it's fun to wear bunny ears at Halloween, and does that just make me a basic bitch? Yes. Anyways,
Mallory, you've paid for your sins, but also I've paid for your sins, and I didn't sin at all. Like, why did I have to watch this aimless, strange season of anime? Like, what? I didn't do anything.
Sam, look, that is the blood pact we made. You know, we're connected, you and I. We're kind of like 2 sides of the same coin. We kind of parallel each other. We're kind of like foils to each other, Sam. Which is your commentary on every villain in BEASTARS.
I like to give Mallory like a little hints throughout the week in messages about like what how I'm feeling about the vibe of the subject matter for a given podcast. And this week it was, if I hear one more character tell Legoshi, we're kind of the same, you and I, I'm going to lose it. Like, it's to the point where I feel like Legoshi should be getting sick of it. It's like, why is every character like, Legoshi, I too have an insatiable hunger, and I too fantasize about eating a rabbit, and I too want to change the society for the better, and I too want to keep the society exactly the same, and I too want to go to a high school, and I too want to be in a play that the anime spends hours on and then doesn't show. Mallory, we agreed last week or a couple weeks ago to like try and talk about the positives first.
Yes.
So to that end, I think the opening is good.
Yes, Sam. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Gush Zone, sponsored by Gushers. Unleash the unstoppable flavor inside, where we gush about the things we love about these things, and we have got to set the negativity aside for a second here, Sam, because
they don't show the play, Mallory.
They do know how to make an opening in this show. They do know how to, make you go like, ah, ooh, ah, boo, with those like images. I think they're pretty close to like the manga art style, and they're just kind of like looking around. They're a little less like roughshod, but like the colors, everything, they're just like and they're all in like. I was
gonna
cool
say the manga, from what I've seen, is a little sketchy, but.
Yeah, they feel like because the manga is very like scribbly and kind of like rough, and then the anime has got like this 3D thing going on where while it is like the effect, at least in season 1, is like very cool looking, and it was like kind of at the time at least. Yeah, it was like kind of like breaking ground on that front. I think that it can look like a really clean and polished when you start to see through like, oh yeah, these are 3D models. So I don't know, it's nice to have like a little mix in the opening. Some cool looking stuff. Yeah. Some cooler other stuff I'll say. I think
I cut you off about the opening, but yeah, the 2D sprites are like great, and it's like very charming.
Yes.
It's
That's all
less
I have to say about it. But yeah.
it's less complicated than some of the other ones in terms of like the paper
Mm,
mache-ishness, but it
mm.
is. I like that at the end of it, it's like we're not going to show 40,000 characters. We're still going to have 40,000 characters, but it's like this opening is Legoshi, Haru, Louis, and Melon, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right,
Beautiful.
focus.
No,
Thank
I
you.
like it. I think what would your openings ranking? I think mine is like super solid. I think it's season 1, season 3, season 4, and season 2. Even though I think the
That is
song
my
is
exact
cool.
ranking.
The song is cool in season 2, but it's not like just feels like a pop song, and I think the animation is not like that compelling, you know?
I agree.
Yeah. That's I think that's the correct ranking objectively of these openings.
I could maybe switch. Did you have? Sorry. So season 1,
mm,
season 3, part 1, season 3,
yeah.
part 2, season 2. I
Yeah.
could maybe switch the season 3s, but I could go either way. Like they're both fun.
Yeah.
I like I like the lion mafia boys in the taxi cab in the season 3, part 1.
It is really
so
good.
I don't know.
And I think I'm really like a sucker for this kind of like normcore vibe that Legoshi has going on, like just the heavy looking t-shirt and jeans, and like he can make it work because he's just like this big oversized guy.
As opposed to like shirtless, the wolf inside of me, like muscly Legoshi in the new opening.
Everything you say to me.
Do you know the comic of like it's like an emo teenage girl like at like a family restaurant surrounded by like her like very normal looking like sibling and parents, and then she's looking at like the emo teenage boy surrounded by his normal parents, and they're both thinking of like each other as wolves, like holding onto each other riding a motorcycle into the sunset. Like that's kind of like the vibe I get from some BEASTARS official art. But you know,
that's beautiful. That's a really beautiful image.
Everyone needs their art to like hold on to.
Definitely. Sam, I will say in terms of other positive things, because I think that we are both
I've got a list.
We're maybe shared in not being so enthused about this season. Directionless, you mentioned, I think is absolutely a word I would use to describe it. I will say, as they were wrapping things up, I did have some relief of like, okay, that was going somewhere. There are plenty of things that don't go somewhere. You've mentioned the play several times. I'm also pretty upset about that. But the you know, like once Legoshi and Melon are finally fighting, once Louis is on stage like coming clean about his like history and confronting the mayor character that was introduced all the way back in season 1.
You're describing the last 7 minutes of the show, but yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's not even I remember watching the penultimate episode being like, okay, I'm still not sure where we're going. Right? And then
when the finale starts with you've got to defeat the other two or the last of the like,
mini bosses,
I'm like, there's not time for this. Like we do not have.
When this sexy fox lady like climbs on top of him and she's like, "We're not so different, you and I," and like she's like, "We have nothing in common."
Go away.
He's like, when the poison lizard bites him, he's like, "It's like my grandfather's hugging me," and he goes.
And then Legoshi's been poisoned by the BEASTARS mentality, and he goes to the lizard guy and says, "We're not so different, you and I." And I'm just gonna crash out. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of it.
But when we get to the like end of things, I'm like, okay, that is a good final thing for Louis to do. That's a good final thing for Legoshi to do. I like when Legoshi runs into the spotlight and he's like this, you know, it's like, okay, like this is what the whole thing's been leading up to.
And he's only got eyes for Haru, and he's putting himself in danger, you know, it's fine, it's just his character trait, and it's like, yeah,
he's fully everything that society's scared of. He's like this scarred, bloody, scratched up, one-eared, like, gray wolf
cannibal.
With like mouth full of blood or whatever, and everyone's staring at him, and he's a wanted criminal. Like, I think there were things about it, like there were some broad strokes where I'm like, okay, Legoshi becoming like everyone, like he's wanted is good. The way that happens,
like if you
timing,
showed me that image, you know, like after finishing season 1, I'd be like, yes, this is where the
Right.
anime is heading.
Right.
I wouldn't expect it to be heading there in the last, like, 40 minutes of the anime, and that's it. Like, it took it, like, it's like we're
Yeah.
gonna speed run to it at the end
Absolutely. And I
after a
will
lot
say,
of dicking around.
I think Haru like running out and like being like we're in love and like kissing in front of everything. It's like, yeah, you know,
I
it's
got
like
no problems with that.
that's cool. Would have been cool if she like did something more, but I mean,
So
that's maybe asking for too much.
well, so Gushstone for a second here.
Yeah.
I like that it took 3 seasons, but I like that in season 4, Haru and Legoshi are mostly on the same page and can have a conversation with each other.
Yes.
I thought it was very funny that Legoshi cannot like speak to Haru, but can ask her to marry him in the 3rd season. I thought that was a very Legoshi-like character trait.
Yes.
But I got a little tired of like the stammering, looking at my shoes Legoshi every time they were on screen together. And I think in season 4 they have normal adult conversations, and it really does feel like these two characters have grown up and have put their baggage to the side, or have like learned to give each other's baggage, and they're shouldering the load together, and they're ready to like face prejudice in the world, and Haru's status as a tiny dwarf rabbit that everyone wants to take a bite of, and Legoshi's status as a scary wolf. And it's like, I thought that this is like maybe the best season for their relationship since season 1.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think that there were certain scenes like the one, and I couldn't tell you what episode it was because I watched it earlier in the week.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. The near blowjob scene was like really intimate and sweet, and I thought it was nice.
That's exactly what I was trying to
of
bring
the
up.
BEASTARS blowjob blowjob scene. Don't clip that out of context. But
we're huge fans of the BEASTARS blowjob scene. You guys are missing out if you dropped BEASTARS at season 2. Okay.
It's called hentai and it's art. Anyway.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like honestly, I think, and it's the kind of thing that this show does that so much anime is too much of a pussy to even fucking touch, is like,
absolutely,
here's real intimacy. Like it's not like like all the girl characters go in the hot spring and we see like a boing or whatever, and it's like oh, it's like, okay, here's like two people being really uncomfortable and awkward and intimate and like talking openly about like all their concerns and weird fucking overthinking complexes they have.
There's another anime that is like infamous for like ED being a plot point, and at some point when we run out of things to talk about in this podcast, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Mashoko Tensei, that's got a lot of problems, but it's like it's so rare to see something so adult be like openly discussed, and it be, I think, very nicely handled in BEASTARS, where it's like they have like an awkward sexual, they're off, but they both acknowledge that they're off in that moment, or that it's not the right time, or what have you, and then they get into just more heart-to-heart conversations. And I thought that like the directing in that scene I thought was really good, and I just think it like, there are moments where I'm like, man, this could have been a better show.
No, absolutely. And I think that when we hit those moments, it's nice. Ready to talk about...
Then the rest of the show happens.
We're ready to talk about something. Here's the thing, Sam. I think that while I'm sure there are a lot of scenes that we would be like, maybe scrap that, and there are a lot of scenes that we wanted to see that we didn't get to see. I think the biggest thing you could do to make this entire like last couple of seasons way easier to watch and engage with is if you just have your big story arc beats be a lot more like clearly kind of mapped out, and not like the way, okay, Legoshi becoming the most wanted person ever is a good storyline. It fits thematically. As you said, if we saw that screenshot after watching season 1 of the Legoshi wanted poster, you'd be like, oh shit, like this series goes places.
A raising of the stakes, and it's of course is heading in that direction.
The way this happens is Legoshi has a lot of encounters with Melon, and then during a time where him and Melon are completely separated and nothing is happening between them, he thinks, maybe I should go back to the same tattoo parlor that I went before, and the guys I met before are dead, and I leave my hair behind. And then the next day, rather than thinking in the moment, oh, what if I become a criminal, or what if I get accused of the crime, I'm going to go have a casual conversation with Haru. That was a pretty decent conversation, but then this random mouse that's different from the mice that were serving under Yaya, which I did not,
Yes.
which I was like, took me the longest time to be like, yeah, okay, these are different characters, even though they're also wearing jackets and they're also an intelligence agency.
Yaya being in Legoshi's apartment, and it's like, Yaya, you clearly know this is a setup, right? And then finding the Kynes cans and being like, maybe Legoshi is the murderer. I'm like, you are the dumbest motherfucker in this show. And it feels like character assassination because he's like the most distrustful, everything is a plot within a plot character. But then he seemingly falls for this like scheme by Melon, but also doesn't. But if it is a manipulation of Legoshi, that's poorly set up. And why are the rats suddenly interested in Legoshi? I don't know.
The guy shows up. So rather than it's like there's so many. Here's some cool scenes that could happen. Okay, the dramatic cliffhanger of the end of part 1 of the final season is Melon shoots Legoshi and kicks him into the water. Okay,
you and I are the same.
Imagine,
bam.
after he explains how they're the same and they're like reflections of each other.
Yes.
Imagine Legoshi climbs out of the water and like Melon pinned all of the crimes on him, and he comes back and it's like he's died because he can no longer show his face to society because he's now like the most wanted
100%.
criminal. And then this whole season is the Legoshi is wanted arc, and every minor scene is colored by the fact that Legoshi is wanted, and it's like we're living in the world of Legoshi being wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And they could do the thing where, like, all these side characters that we have been building up over the last 3 seasons, but particularly in season 3, part 1, like his neighbors and his work, like, friend, like the owl guy at the udon shop. Like, if these people could then have their own interactions with Legoshi post him being wanted, you know, his goodwill could, like, feed back to him and he could get support, or a more believable version of the, like, I need to stay away from you because I am now a wanted criminal, like, thing. Like, there's some drama to mine there, and there's also some, like, satisfaction in seeing that Legoshi, who has lived this unbelievably, like, pious life, damn near, by just being, like, the nicest, goodest boy all the time, if that could, like, feed into, like, people not believing in the lies, and it be society's problems versus Legoshi's goodwill, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they do with Haru at the end, but not in a way that's satisfying, because again, it's all way too fast. In a show that takes its time on everything else, it's like, this is what we gotta speed through.
No, absolutely. So it's like, so we miss all of that because we don't, and because Legoshi spends his entire like wanted arc like hiding in the sewers with a group of new characters, but then like, okay, so we missed that opportunity for him to come out of the water. Okay, what if like, okay, you do this weird plot contrivance of him like randomly going to the tattoo place, leaving his fur behind and getting wanted. What if rather than a random mouse telling him that he's wanted, he's just walking around the streets and he hears murmurs of it, or like where he encounters the turtle
in front of Haru, right? Like him and Haru's like position in her new life in the college is threatened, right? Where she's now got friends again, and she's in a much better place than she was in high school. Like, that is destroyed indirectly because of Legoshi, and you can mine drama that way. Like, there's so many opportunities for this to be more interesting than Legoshi hangs out in the sewer for 40 minutes and then goes and finishes the fight.
Yeah. So that's the thing that I think is the most frustrating, is there's just so many like plot hooks and things that make sense and things that are thematically kind of set up, and they're just like islands, like just completely
Yes.
distant, like ships passing in the night, like they do not interact with each other.
We get so many Melon flashbacks just for his final death conversation to be, we're not so different, you and I. Like I just need a little more.
You're thinking about me too, baby.
I have an even bigger like complaint, which is that this season feels like it's missing scenes, and I know that it's a adaptation of a manga and that like things are cut for time or what have you, but like I'm still not entirely sure how Haru got away from her first encounter with Melon, where he stabs himself with the box cutter. Like, that's the next time we see Haru, she's just kind of hanging out, and we get a little bit of flashbacks to that point where like another sentence is said, but I still don't know how she like leaves that office. Like, it's just like the next time it comes up, it's like, oh, he's been fired from the university. It's like, because of the horror thing or not? And I don't
no, then they talk
know
to
the
some
answer.
Random dog, and he's like, yeah, no, they just decided to like search his credentials randomly, I guess, and turns out he's not a professor.
Okay.
and then he's like,
is Melon upset about that? Like, I don't know.
Why was he
about Melon is that he's not the same. I know about Melon is that we're the same, you and I. That's all I know. Like,
why was that part of his plan? I'm sure
Mallory,
sure there's something in the text, but me and you have both watched this independently. Why was he? Can either of us even hazard an answer as to why he was being a professor at a college? I could not. I don't know.
He seemingly wanted to get revenge on the professor that he murders in the first episode of the season.
So he was done.
He's in I guess, and then he becomes obsessed with Haru, and I think that like him being obsessed with Haru, I think, is a decent idea.
Yeah.
To flesh out Melon and to flesh out Haru. Mm-hmm. Because we've spent 3 seasons being like, wow, Haru, you have a really unique mindset and you're kind of crazy, but that is interesting. Mm-hmm. And your freak matches Legoshi's freak, right? But then her freak matches Melon's freak. Ooh. And Melon... We're not. I can't stop. I gotta stop saying we're
not so
different.
You and I.
But,
Sam, can I have a category here: better a pig than a fascist, for the line that unlocks the theme of the show.
The whole thing. Please unlock this.
We're not so different. You and
I. Puzzle. No. I have one. There's Haru says something along the lines of like, "I've always been okay being a girl who gives more than she takes." She says that to Legoshi or maybe to Louis. In reference to Melon, and it's like, it's kind of that season 1 conversation about like, this is a metaphor for like being promiscuous, you know, like being like a girl who sleeps around and how that is like a double standard and whatnot. But it's a little thin, and it's like, Haru, why are you willing to let this evil leopard mixed person like eat you? That doesn't really make much sense to me.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like putting the Haru character to the test in a way, because I think a big thing with her is like not
valuing her own life, right?
It's all about safety. And it's all about, you know, like the women in our society and herbivores in this world. It's like, you know, you need to be careful. You need to like be handled with kid gloves, but you also need to like be smart and protect yourself. And like Haru's mindset is like, I gotta get busy living or get busy dying. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, if something bad happens to me, so be it. Like, I cannot just like live my life in denial of who I am, and like
I'm not going to
make myself smaller.
I'm not going to change my behavior because of potential dangers, but also I'm gonna like dance on the tightrope of a giant bonfire. Like, I'm gonna like take it to the absolute extreme of like, I can't even imagine. Like, she says something along the lines of, I can't even imagine being alive tomorrow. And that's like a powerful idea, and it's like somewhat interesting. I don't have much problems with Haru in this season. I like that. I like they do the bait and switch of, you think that she's gonna run off and get herself in danger again, and then she's just hanging out at Louis' house. I thought that was a good. like meta plot point of like, we know that Haru often runs off into danger when it makes no sense, and this time she chose to stay, and that's a little bit of growth.
No, that
But
was decent. Of the times that they chose to, again, my biggest criticism being them like cutting the legs out of things that could have been fun surprises, like having them be delivered in a really boring way. That was a pretty good surprise. I liked that. I enjoyed it.
My main problems with this season, like, I like individual scenes, individual episodes. I think I've got Stockholm syndrome at this point. I like most of the like side plots that happen in this season. Like, I like Jack wanting to eat an onion and kill him. Everyone wants to kill themselves just to make a point, but we'll get to that later.
That is good.
I like the boys going to the fetch batting cage and just being boys for a second.
That was so good, man. Just letting them all letting the dogs
just
loose,
letting some steam out, drinking some brewskis. Like, I like
that was amazing.
Wagging some tails, howling at the moon. Because it is like a quick little. This series captures like adolescence very well, and then like that weird transitionary period between like childhood to adulthood. And I thought that scene and Legoshi kind of connecting with his boys, but it feels like connecting with his boys for the last time because he's like moved on, or he's like grown up too fast. Like I think that's great. I like Bill taking care of the little bird with Pina. Like in general, the side stuff this season I thought was strong, or at least doesn't bother me as much anymore, because it's just BEASTARS' vibe. BEASTARS wants to be an episodic show, but it's got too much baggage.
Yeah, no, it wants to tell all of these short stories in the format of a larger overarching plot. And I think that's like my thing where I'm just like, oh, just like that little change where it's like, if these like major plot points and these like signposts happen, you can still throw in like, okay, now we're randomly cutting to Bill raising a baby chick, and now we're randomly cutting to Pina and Riz in prison, which I have a lot to say about that, by the way. But I
cannot believe Riz showed back up. I thought the series forgot about him.
It's like you can cut away to these things because they're kind of like in the bubble of like the theme. Like the vibe of the show right now is Legoshi is on the lam and things have gotten dark. Or the vibe of the show right now is that like there's
Legoshi
a mystery
has to
going on
see,
in the
it's like Legoshi sees every aspect of society, right? Like they're setting him up to be the person who takes in all perspectives, including even someone as insane as Melon, right?
Yes.
And he starts off the season as like punished Legoshi, like, no, Melon is too crazy, he has to die. And then pretty much immediately drops that. But like you could see
the broad strokes.
We had this same problem with Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, right? Where it's like, I like all these individual scenes, I like this overarching story for the most part, but the individual, like the episodic and the main plot never cohese into like a amazing finale, like something like an Avatar The Last Airbender does, where it's like every minor plot point and side character and emotional beat all like cohese into this. I'm gonna keep saying cohese. I mean, they all mix, they all come together into like, oh, I didn't think that like that plot point would become a punchline in this bigger narrative, or to become it'd be the secret to how things are solved, or it'd be like this became a solution. I didn't even know they were setting that up. Like none of that really happens. Legoshi meets 1,000 people that have all different perspectives on like how society should be, as does Louis. And then the ultimate thing is like, it's this one mayor who's the bad guy, and this psychopathic.
Get him.
And Melon, who the answer was beat him up harder. Like, I don't know what it just doesn't work.
You should beat up Lemon until he kills himself, just like the bullies when he was a child.
Exactly. That'll solve this entire problem.
It is like, yeah, like the good things, Legoshi looking evil in front of everyone and getting forgiven. But yeah, it is like, society's bad because of this guy, you know? And while they've been setting up like the dog police force thing is like this crazy plot point. I know a lot of these things are pulled from the manga. So I gotta talk to you about the manga, Sam. I gotta come
Tell
clean
me
a
about the
little bit
manga.
about my pitching the series. So I didn't read the manga, but
Mhm.
I heard a lot of things about the manga, and I heard a lot of things about what happened and the lore of this world that made me want to watch
Mhm.
all 4 seasons of the anime, in the hopes of this information getting delivered to me in a way that I could kind of wrap my head around it a lot easier. And by the time I got to the end of the anime, all of the stuff that I was told was going to happen wasn't in it because it got cut for time, because we needed to spend more time with the little weird weasel dude who's like, I shit in a thing and I sell it to people, and if you eat this shit then it makes you crazy. We need 7 more scenes of setting him up that he's like, if you mix carnivore and herbivore blood, then it kills melon specifically.
Right.
And then, but like,
Why do we need that
imagine,
guy and also the scientist lady
and
from
the
the
squirrel
herbivore
scientist, we need like
company?
7 people to be like, you need to invent test tube hamburgers, and also you need to invent the poison that kills melon. And then she goes, I'm gonna get fired for this. I'm like, how? Everyone, all of your bosses
Who
told you
get
to do what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And
Also, you
then
could just be like, had to happen. Like there's no consequences to anything. It seems like in this universe.
every useless character showed up and just
They put them all on that one wooden platform together.
they all got in this platform with a little burning torch, and they released the poison that kills specifically Melon and no one else. And wait, maybe that's why Legoshi fell down, because he's. But no, because the Commander Dragon, or like his whatever
He's 2 generations back, right, or forward.
But
in terms
he's
of
not a
being
herbivore
mixed.
at all, right? Because he's mixed species, but not.
Also, that's
Yeah,
true. But
okay.
he's mixed. He has he's a quarter Komodo dragon, right? Is the
Right.
idea, as opposed
Okay.
to Melon, who is half gazelle and half leopard, right?
Yeah, I was almost like, it would be cool if that's why he like stumbles at it or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's all carnivores. So I don't even know if it's just any mixed species, but it doesn't fucking matter is the thing, because the thing about
Cares? 'Cause the
BEASTARS,
entire
it's never
doesn't
been
matter.
a lore series where things really like make sense or are concrete. Like if you interpret it emotionally and psychosexually, and like the theater and the play and the drama, you will enjoy the series a lot more. And then this last 2 seasons, or this like combined final season, has really been like, no, once an episode we need to have some scientist character explaining how this like fucking obscure bullshit works, that is also, by the way, anime exclusive, is what I found out, which made me more angry. It's like there were like several other kind of disconnected plot lines in the manga that they basically used the like Keen's like energy drink
plot point. Yeah.
plot was like combining and like threading a bunch of previously unrelated stuff, which it's like, okay, like I guess you're tying stuff together. It's just a lot of like energy put on like, you need to understand this, and like I'm glazed over every time they're talking about
I got
it
in the first scene, then we have 5 other scenes explaining the same thing. Like I don't get this series' need to repeat information while also glossing over much more important information. Like I don't need a 10th scene. Man, everyone at school is really having a bad time since Legoshi and Louis and Haru left. Like, man, the drama club really has fallen on hard times. Man, they really don't want herbivores and carnivores working together. Man, they really don't want herbivores and carnivores working together. Man, is the play gonna happen? Is the play gonna happen? 3rd scene. Is the play gonna happen?
How
Play's gonna happen.
many times is Kibi the anteater gonna be like, but remember when you cut my freaking hand off? We fell in love, and now we're
It
boyfriends.
meant something.
And I'm like, dude, I liked that when I watched it in season 2. I don't like it anymore because you told me like 10 times, and I already get it, Kibi. I already understand your whole deal. And you sound so weak
Bill's
now.
character arc stopped in season 2, and then we got 2 more seasons of him just being like, I'm the new Legoshi.
I'm kind of gruff, but I'm nice.
I'm nice now. It's just wasted potential. I don't, I still like the world. I think the metaphor is so dead and killed at this point. Like, I don't want to have a fourth podcast being like, if this is about race, is it kind of racist? Like, but if it's about men and women, it's also confused. If it's about homosexuality, it's also confused. It's as confused as Louis is. Where did that go? Nowhere. He turned down Juno in the credits. Like,
Crazy.
what is happening?
Can I-
What was the point of Juno? What was the point?
Can I tell you something so crazy?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they cut okay, so I have this really good. Can I shout out a Reddit user on this podcast right now?
It'll be the first time ever on this podcast, but go
First
for
and last time to shout out a Reddit user. Reddit user Lanky abbreviations, not abbreviations, abbreviations. Lanky abbreviations. Shout out to you. They left an extremely useful Reddit comment, like detailing a lot of the major stuff that was like changed in the anime to manga. This is apparently the thing with Juno in the manga is that she gets dropped and forgotten about way earlier in a way that people were like, what? That was kind of confused. They give her more in the anime, so it's like, oh, okay, she's being involved. So probably she
could be even more discarded at the end.
So that it's more brutal when it goes nowhere, basically.
Right.
So it sounds like she got more in the anime in general, which I guess is good, and she got carried all the way to the end. However, there was this line where like she apparently leaves Louis with like the coldest line ever. That is something along the lines of like, you'll never be able to like kiss someone without canines and like feel the same way or something like that. That's like just like, oh, and
this
then
wolf
just
pussy is too good for you,
yeah,
dear boy.
Fully, and then just mic drops and like leaves the manga forever, which like
I see.
Honestly, kind of cool. But yeah, goes nowhere. Her and Pina's like they keep being like, oh man, Juno and Pina are fighting again off screen, and that doesn't go anywhere, because the play doesn't happen.
The fact that the play doesn't happen is unbelievable.
Unreal, man.
I don't give a shit about the play. I didn't like the drama club stuff, but they spent it's like a quarter of this season is spent on how are we going to pull off this play, and this play means something, and this is going to change society for the better.
For it to happen in the credits.
It will improve the world. For it to not happen, basically.
Yeah, no, it's...
Mallory, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Why is this called BEASTARS?
Because maybe, Sam, maybe it's not a B-star. It's the BEASTARS.
Mallory, who is the BEASTARS at the end? Is it supposed to be Haru, who's never been a candidate, or whatever that means, and Legoshi? Because that's fucking stupid. Is it supposed to be Louis and Legoshi and Haru? Because that's a little less stupid. But I still don't really know what a B-star does.
It's like it resolved their character arc because Yaya got so mad at Gosha, but then he's like, you know what? What if there's two the best guys ever? Which is what Yaya wanted anyway, and Gosha chose family over being Batman, and Yaya got all angry about it, and then he's just like, maybe we should have two B-stars again. This is a kind of a nothing.
Yaya is so conceptually cool, right? Like a herbivore who is eating meat and is basically like what Louis could become. Like he's taken on all the crimes of the world, and he sees the dark underbelly, and it's changed him, and he has this deal with Legoshi's grandfather, and he's getting too old for this shit, but he's so cynical that he can't trust Legoshi. Like, he gets where was he left off at the end of the last season? It's like, I accidentally got Legoshi killed, almost. Oh well. I guess I was back to hating Legoshi in season 4 for the 5 scenes I'm in, because we don't have any time for Yaya. We have to talk about the play.
Yeah, no, and I don't know. I still hold so firmly. Like, I think in the previous episode I was kind of like jury's out because I didn't really fully know where the story was going. I'm firmly now, like, I think Melon if I'm writing this, Melon is like the season 3 villain. He dies at the end in a tragic death. Legoshi learns all about his sad backstory throughout that season, or like during his death, and is like, wow, he could have had a better life if only society was better. And then Yaya's the villain. And you have to change the character a little bit because Yaya ends up being like, you know what, Gosha? I think that everything's okay and I'm a good guy now. But like
one of the worst
you got to make him more villainous, but
of a character playing 4D chess I've ever seen. Like, he's supposed to be like, I have all the information, I have these rat spies, this and that. To have him like holding this like, you can date Haru or you can marry Haru like legal thing over Legoshi's head and be like, I am the master chess player and I am moving these pieces around to defeat Melon, who's also the master chess player. We're the same, you and I. Just for him to just bumble around for the entire final season and not do anything, and then just show up and be like, I guess it all worked out without my help. I actually like contributed nothing to this anyway.
It is insane. It is insane.
Why'd they have 2 scenes of the mayor and Yaya both being like, well, we're gonna storm the black market or the meat market during the Legoshi trials. Like, that's our plan. Never mind. Like, what is happening? Why was Louis...
Like, here's the thing.
Louis and Legoshi go, we're gonna work together on this one. Oh, but I got this conference I gotta speak at. Like, all these things that, like, the characters are actively saying, here's the plan. Never mind.
Here's the thing.
Like, I don't get it.
Louis fighting the battle on stage, I like. I do like that. It's like Louis' like season 2 dark side edgelord moment was he's like, I have to live in the darkness and be swallowed and become the boss of the Yakuza. And then he comes out of it because he starts being real with himself and realizes he loves carnivores or whatever. And then now he's struggling in the spotlight, but he can't forget his past. I'm
fine with all that, but Louis, he specifically told Legoshi, you and I are going to fight this evil person together, and then, like, forgot about it, and, like, went to, like,
he says, he has a scene where he's like, oh no, I have this really important conference, but then he's like, he does say, like, oh, I have to, like, fight this side of the battle while Legoshi fights that side of the battle. So I was like, okay, I get that it's disappointing, and it would have been nice, like, for him to, like, I would have rather he didn't say we're gonna fight villain together, because that sets you up to expect them to fight villain together. So I would have rather he didn't.
They are sitting on the balcony looking at the sun setting on the meat market, which they both have a history with, and he's like, we're finally gonna have that team up that everyone's wanted.
It's also like when they talked about like, oh, if you mix like herbivore and carnivore blood together, then you can create the poison that kills Melon. I was like, okay, is like Louis and Legoshi gonna fight him at the same time? Yeah, or Haru,
or is Haru gonna get injured and it's gonna be a whole
injure both of them, and then their blood mixed together and the smell hits somebody goes, oh, you know. And then it's also like they have
that
this
affects only our villain.
the poison that kills the melon.
The anti-melon poison.
This is still the funniest fucking shit to me. Like in the episode 10 of a 12 of a fucking 24 episode season
of a 100 episode anime, like
episode 22 of a 24 episode anime. They're like, oh, by the way, there's a poison that can kill Melon. It's like, oh, finally, the poison that can kill Melon. Why don't we shoot him with a gun? There's
the
like 7 lions pointing a gun at him, being like, stop bullying us. And then the guy who just got his hand shut off goes, no, this guy's fucking awesome. This guy's red pill as shit.
The lion that killed the other lion that was like Louis' friend, and he killed him for honor and this and that. Yeah. They kept cutting to him this season, being like, is Melon's empire gonna fall from the inside because he's such a bastard? He doesn't do anything. I don't know what happened to the lions. Well, like the last time we see the lions, they're like, one of them, gets his throat slit, and the other one's like, I guess I'm the boss now.
Well, the other one,
he just stands with the other 3 mini bosses.
He just goes, fuck you. We all say, fuck you, Melon. He's like, what, are we all gonna be friends with each other? And she's like, you've never had a friend. And then Melon goes, I found the other poison that kills Melon, and he shoots himself. It's like they're all weak to guns.
I know.
You can shoot anyone in this world because they have guns.
You don't need a fancy anti-coagulate, whatever the hell, anti-blood device.
Coagulator. Yeah, it's
thank
like
you.
It's like
Or a pistol.
The thing that is scary about them having claws and teeth is because you don't. It's the same thing that is scary about like white women across the street when men are working down in real life, where it's like, oh, there's like physical size differences. We don't carry around weapons in civilized society. But then when you switch, when you're with the Yakuza, no, guns rule them because you have a gun.
Why are we fucking around with like knife heels and samurai swords, and my poison can destroy like cinder block walls?
That was crazy. He poisoned
Just
the wall.
shoot him
The
in
wall
the
got
head.
sick. The wall got sick from the poison. And
The
then
wall got sick, and also his tail has a bomb on it.
Okay, Sam, hold on. We can't shit talk the tail with the bomb on it. Did you not fucking laugh out loud?
I can, because the cut to Louis is so awkward. Like when the penultimate episode finale, it shows like 2 frames of Louis going, "My leg is hurting me," as Legoshi's being murdered for like the 15th time.
It's Legoshi got
so
blown up by a bomb because he had
Go back and rewatch that ending. It is so awkwardly directed. Like, it is just bizarre.
No, it really is an awkward cut. I do remember that. But conceptually very funny for him to cut off the end of his tail and be like, this is a token of friendship. And like he turns it around and it's like, it's a bomb. Fucking and then he's like, hold on, I have to save this dead piece of tail. Blows his own ear off. I think that's where he loses his ear, and then he throws the tail in the fire.
the fox heel like cuts it off, but I'm not quite sure.
It must have been that. I was like, at some point during the fox fight, I was like, wait, his other ear's gone, and then I was like,
I hated looking at his ugly fucking bullet holed ear the entire season. I was like, oh, it's so gross.
It's pink. It's like pink fleshy the whole time. It doesn't ever. Yeah, you're supposed to.
I thought he would get like an ear patch or something.
Yeah, or like fur kind of grows over it and like hides the scar. Yeah, no, I agree. I would have liked that more because it's cool. I think that this show
is a bad anime.
as bad as it is fucking so crazy. The craziest shit is always happening in it, and it's like I don't know. When it's being crazy, I'm happy. I'm sad Goheen wasn't in it more. I like the part where
whenever Goheen is not on screen, every character should be asking, "Where is Goheen?"
Yeah, I like the part where he's talking about like, oh, I shouldn't go to Goheen. I'm gonna like cause him too much trouble. But I wanted Goheen to like jump back.
I shouldn't go to Goheen, the guy whose entire organization or his entire setup is keeping people away from the police after they've committed a crime.
Right. I mean,
what about these rats though? Like,
yeah, I don't know. So here's some interesting food for thought, Sam. Something that I was so curious about that completely was not touched on in this anime at all was something excerpt I had heard from a video essay. Again, I bring this video essay up every time we discuss BEASTARS. It's called Lego She Is Gay, a queer reading BEASTARS by YouTuber Boring Keith. So long, so good video essay. A hood classic, as they say.
I got bad news for you, Boring Keith. Legoshi is the straightest wolf of all time in the last season of BEASTARS.
He loves Haru. He talks about in this video the idea that like basically a lot of the stuff that you take for granted upon first entering the BEASTARS world is revealed to historically have happened only about like 100 years ago or something. So like there's
because that's the play is paralleling or is talking about the herbivores and the carnivores first coming together, and now society has rapidly had to adjust to these like species living in harmony.
Like they were kind of like separate societies, and then there was like a war. There was a Herbivore Carnivore War, which is insane, and it's like a World War II thing. And then there was something about like carnivores eating meat as a concept didn't exist at a certain point in the world's history. Like it came up, and it's like it's like a social construct, and I was like, that to me is insane and interesting, and I want to know how they pull that off and how that's discussed, and
they don't.
It wasn't in it. That said, from what I've read, I'm not 100% sure how much that was an interpretation by this video essayist, because it does seem a little bit like the carnivores eating meat didn't come into play until the societies interacted. So I'm not 100% sure. I would need to read the manga. I would love if someone in the comments
understanding
it, but yeah,
is that BEASTARS is very much like a footnotes anime where there's a lot of like author comments and little interesting details and like signs in the background that point to this and that. The comp I could think of is like a Dungeon Meshi, which has like that goes to the extremes of like putting out like world guide books and being like, here's how this works and how these societies interact, and you might not know it, but this character knows this character and they have history or beef or whatever. But this is like the less thought out, like, wouldn't it be cool if every week I have a new detail that I came up with on the spot, like kind of version of that?
Yeah, no, totally. And it's like there are styles of doing it. You can do that. And I think that like BEASTARS kind of does that, where it's like the stuff doesn't fully really make sense if you try to like wrap it all together, but it, you know, it is like a vibes, and like the world is whatever it needs to be to fit the metaphor and the you know, the special theme of the episode that we're talking about today. But yeah, this, I don't know, I think this season of the anime does way too much of like, no, we need to like explain to you how, otherwise people are going to be pissed off if they pull out a Deus Ex Machina where they pull out the poison that kills Melon. Like, I wouldn't have cared if they're just like, we created melon poison, and they just called it melon poison, and it only kills jaguar gazelle hybrids. I wouldn't have given a shit.
It's just unsatisfying because it's like the person who sacrifices to defeat Melon is random scientist lady. It's not Louis or really Legoshi or Haru. Like Haru and Melon never meet again, and they set so much up with like Haru being the only person to. He says there's a line there where it's like, I've never experienced someone being happy about my existence before, and it's like, that's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Could Melon have a change of heart just as the Yakuza are like racing to tear him down, and that be like his Achilles heel? Nah. What about the blood that poisons only Melon?
Yeah, no, it is. You're exactly right. It's like, it is an interesting concept of like, because he also talks about like, I've only ever like killed people or eaten people when they were like afraid of me.
He likes he wants
afraid of him.
It's like the opening line of the season is something along the lines of, people are only honest with me when they're afraid for their life, right? Like he fetishizes like the light going out of a person's eyes, and it's really edgy because that's when they show their true form. You want to know how I got these scars? But it never goes anywhere, right? Because like Haru's like open and honest with him, and then he's like, oh well, if I eat Haru, will I understand these open and honest emotions, as opposed to connecting with her? And even I'm fine with that being like he's too psychotic and he has to be stopped, and you know, sometimes you just got to put a bad dog down. But it's antithetical to like Legoshi's whole deal. But it doesn't matter because he shoots himself anyway. And it doesn't matter anyway because he's alive at the end in the credits. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
They were just like, nobody knows what happened to Lemon or Melon. And he's just in a hospital bed and you don't even see him. And you're like...
You see an empty hospital bed that you never saw because they are like speed running through all these details. It's like, what does any of this mean?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I don't know, man. Okay, a Risen Pina thing that I gotta talk about.
I was about to ask you. Let's talk about Risen Pina.
I was kind of like biting my tongue when we were talking about it in like the last few, because I had heard this detail about Riz and Pina where it's like basically the conclusion of their arc in the manga is like, because their whole arcs are intertwined, and we talked about it in season 2. It's the best part of season 2, really. And it's, like they're having like simultaneous, like Riz is having the
They're not so
realization
different, you and I.
Yeah, they're realizing they're not so different, him and he, but Riz is having the realization of like, oh, like this was a one-sided love versus a real relationship, and like I was
Versus like Riz's relationship with Tim versus Riz's relationship with Pina.
Yeah, exactly. Like Pina and like Legoshi as well are like interacting with me as my true self versus like Tim, and then Pina is also like learning, to fear for his life and not be like, everyone can kill me and I won't give a fuck, and like that kind of thing. They have this cool arc thing that goes on, and then the conclusion of that arc in the manga that I really enjoyed, and I'd like read panels of it as well, where it's like Pina just regularly visits Riz in prison to like talk, and it's just like the image of like Riz, and it's Riz in the jail bars, and he's got the muzzle on, and he's just like this huge hunched over silhouette, and Pina's just this little guy like sitting there, and it's like they've kind of basically like become boyfriends, and they like he makes the comment, and he says the same thing in the anime where he's like, you're my first like otoko no tomodachi, which is guy friend. It's not saying boyfriend, but it's also like it feels so specific and on the nose to it's basically saying boyfriend, right? And it's like, I don't know.
I never would have expected BEASTARS to be to coward out about homosexuality, but it really does.
Yeah,
surprisingly.
It was, because it's like I really liked that button on that story arc. It was really cool. And then I feel like the way they did it in the anime, it's like literally in the final episode, it's like, where's Pina? And then not only does it not give you the cool shot of like seeing them on either side of the jail bars, it's like a phone call, and it's just really brief, and he's just like being like, why are you here? Why aren't you at the festival?
They're spending most of the time talking about Louis.
Yeah, like it's just not anything in a way that I was like, oh, I'm excited for this moment and to talk about it with Sam. I don't know. Like, and again, we're being so critical about these moments because there's so much time dedicated to this like cast of characters that have zero theme, characterization, plot relevance, anything. They just have screen time. All they get is screen time, and they show up at the end to release the poison that kills only Melon, and that's it, man. And
I like most of the side characters, but like why is Miss Sevens even in this season? Like why is she one of the people who discovers one of the interspecies murders? Like why is she there with the reggae seal at the finale just to hang out? Like there's so like it does not have the persona thing where all of your relationships are meaningful and come together and matter
Crescendo.
to like
yeah
but
it's like trying to do that by like not abandoning these characters, you know what I mean? It's like, I think if Seven
maybe we should have abandoned some of them
never showed up again after the arc about like her and Legoshi at the shoe shop,
right.
and Legoshi scares away the guys, and then they have that argument on the bench, like great stuff. I never need to see her again, and I really like her, you know?
Or just have those like cop interrogation moments, and that's it.
Yes.
Be like, let's take a quick check-in with these characters that Legoshi has interacted with. And that scene is frustrating in a good way. Like, it is tense because everything she says is being twisted by the cop to make Legoshi seem evil, right? Like, she constantly is affirming that he's a good boy, he's the goodest boy, and it's like, maybe he's only the goodest boy because when he's not the goodest boy, he's out killing people. It's like, that's not what she said. But like that's satisfying in the way that it's like dramatic and tense, and it's again the problems of society blowing back on these characters in interesting and unique ways. But I don't need her meeting Haru and hanging out at the festival, and that's a minor scene, but there's so many like we lose 30 seconds here, we lose 2 minutes there, and suddenly Riz and Pina don't have an arc, and suddenly like Louis resolves his weird psychosexual thing by not resolving it, basically.
Yeah,
And
like Louis and Juno get nothing, and instead we have a scene of like Louis and Azuki like working out their problems, which like there's a lot
I'm
of
fine
stuff
with that
I really
conclusion.
like. Like I
yeah,
like
she's a cool character and interesting
Yeah.
and weird, and
I like the like that is like the gay stuff in this past 2 seasons is like Louis being like just have sex with a woman. Just have sex with a woman. I can't do it with punching a wall. Like, I don't know. That's good. But I don't know. Like it's a decent scene where they kind of like agree, but it does feel unsatisfying. It's like, oh, I have to like, because he concludes on like, okay, I'm gonna do the like society thing and do what's expected of me to move forward in society instead of like breaking from it. He does break from society on stage by like revealing stuff about his like true identity and stuff like that. Could you imagine if like the play just went off and then like Juno's in the crowd and she's dressed in all her feathers and he says like, not only am I like from the black market and this and that, I'm in love with that wolf, you know what I mean? And the spotlight goes on her. Like, come on,
as long
guys.
as she wears men's clothing, I'm in love with that wolf.
I'm in love with that wolf when she's dressed as her like hot older classmate, who's a man. Yeah,
Exactly.
I think I don't know, and at the same time, there is also the like weird shadow like Louis and Legoshi love arc that's like
I thought, Mallory, there's so much dropped in this season. I thought you were talking about Legoshi's like dark passenger, weird shadow Legoshi that he talks to for 2 scenes.
The dark
season.
passenger. It came in like one random scene, and I felt like it really cheapened it. Where it was like, it wasn't nightmarishly bad, but I was like, that is my favorite. Like, if you go back and you watch us talking about season 1, like that is a thing where I'm like reading the quote verbatim because I'm just so obsessed with it. Of like, yes, you've been craving it all your life. Like I'm obsessed with like the phrasing of it. I think it's such a cool moment and like a great opening to an anime. When the Dark Passenger returned, and he's like, yeah, remember when I said you're craving meat? You still craving it, boy? And he's like, no, I've been taming you for like 3 seasons. And it's like, all right, catch you later, I guess.
The most bullshit BEASTARS ever gets is Legoshi wakes up with Haru's dress covered in tomato juice. And I'm like, this is just fucking clown shoes at this point. Like, what are we doing?
I'm in 2 minds. I kind of, there are like the moment he wakes up and there's blood everywhere, I'm like, he didn't eat Haru, obviously, right? Like nobody's full. No, the wool is being pulled over no one's life. I was rolling my eyes at that point. It did reach a point within that where I was like, okay, like Legoshi's like having this breakdown in the way they like sell his like emotions. I was like, this is all right, you know.
The whole world
like,
turning gray and then Haru entering and then it turning back to color. Like, it's okay, but
the way his like shocked reaction and everything is like, you know, and it feels like a confrontation. It happens after the blowjob scene that we love so much, where it's like, it's kind of him.
The Nobody Leaves podcast has no problems with the blowjob scene in BEASTARS season 4. To be clear, just to get that on the record for another time.
Just to fully cement that, I think that it is like a character moment, I feel like, where it's like he finally confronts his ultimate fear that he's been running from the entire thing, which is that he's gonna eat Haru like unsuspectingly, and it happens in the worst way possible for him, which it was like in his sleep. Like he could do nothing about it, he couldn't stop it, and it's his fault, and he's like taking this life by getting too close to her.
The direction is fine. The
fact that it's tomato juice,
and then I left the apartment. It's like stupid. It's like, it's just the dumbest fucking thing ever. The line, like they give Haru, like they make Haru like a complete moron just to make the scene work, and it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, the concept of Haru being like, sorry, I was trying to drink tomato juice while you were spooning me. First of all, it's just like that on its own is like nightmare. Like, I was drinking tomato juice in bed with you.
Is that the I just want to eat jelly and bread with you every morning scene? Because I thought that was also sweet. But like,
Oh, I don't remember that, but that's cute.
she brings him breakfast, I think, after the tomato juice deal, and it's just like,
Aw.
it's another like, we've not gone on a single date, but I want to marry you, which again is silly and over the top, but this is a silly over the top anime, and for me,
Yeah.
I find that like a little romantic and sweet.
Yeah, no, that part's good.
It's very Legoshi to do that, to be like, I can barely look at you, but I want to marry you, and I'm going to tell you that part.
Yeah, no, definitely. A lot was on the table here, Sam, and we've had some interesting conversations about BEASTARS over the years, you know.
Yeah.
I forgot the part where a shark was gonna eat Legoshi. That did actually make me laugh a lot.
Mallory, I have one more complaint.
Okay, hit me.
Let's introduce the diva of the evening to BEASTARS season 3 part 2.
Okay.
Legoshi's grandmother, right?
Sam, you're so smart. You're so good at this. Sam, you really saved the best for last because you sent me the funniest message this week about Legoshi's grandmother. I would love you to share with
Read
the
it
audience
verbatim.
your perspective on the Legoshi's grandmother scene.
I think it is indicative to the problems with this show and the yada yadaing through emotional character arcs and just like common sense and the abandonment of it, that Legoshi's grandmother, to win an argument, commits suicide and leaves her like small child and husband like widowed, just to be like, but you see, I did truly love you and you could be yourself because I drank your venom and killed myself. It's like, why? Like,
Here's the
to win
thing.
an argument, I must commit suicide.
The
BEASTARS.
timing of it, you're exactly right that she kills herself to win an argument, and that's really funny. I think that there are so
I
many
wanted it to cut
situational
back to
things about
Haru,
it.
and Haru go, that feels like it was really avoidable. Like,
Here's the thing. I think that the constant theme of BEASTARS, you're trying love and death together, and
You
when
gotta
you
risk
love
it all.
someone, you have to risk death. And I do think it works. I think that she's like, yeah, I like, it is more worth it to me to love you, to be able to kiss my partner on the lips than it is to live. It is also like the moment where she like Legoshi's mother had this huge,
Legoshi's mother might have lived if she had like a
life.
mother figure to
Yeah,
walk her
like
through life.
the whole, I was like rewatching the thing where it's like the Legoshi's mom's whole thing was like, you know, she reached a point in her life where she stopped telling people that her father was a Komodo dragon, and then she was like trying to live as like this wolf, and she was like this model, and she was hanging out with all these other like canines and stuff, but she didn't have a wolf to raise her, so it was like a real struggle to like keep up appearances and like all this kind of stuff. Amazing story, relatable story. And it's like caused by the grandma unceremoniously like dying on like a random on her birthday. The other thing about that scene is he's like, here's a beautiful cake with all this whipped cream, and she dies and they didn't even eat the cake, and I was a little bit pissed off
Mallory,
about
the
that.
other thing about it is that he can't touch her, but they've had sex and had a child, and it's like, what is that? Like, I don't need to know the mechanics of that necessarily. Like,
See,
I'm okay with the story yada yadaing it, but you can't have it both ways where it's like, my touch is poison to you, love of my life.
But not my
also,
cum.
here's like literally in like he's reminiscing about their good times as she's dying in his arms, and in those scenes he's like cradling baby Legoshi mom, and he's like hugging her, and they're walking hand in hand, and it doesn't make any goddamn sense because he gave her a little kiss and she died.
Or it's like the touch. Here's the thing.
I didn't have the magic spray that keeps me from murdering you.
I didn't
Like,
spray you with
what is
alcohol
this?
to kill the venom. Which, hey, man, does alcohol defeat venom? Because that doesn't seem like. If I was bitten by a snake.
Mallory, blood defeats leopard gazelle, so, like, this, does anything make sense?
I think, like, it's just, I kind of wish the touch thing didn't happen, and they just made it about the mouth and the, like, the poison in
Sure.
here. Because then it would have been a symbolic moment. They just unnecessarily added this thing. Also, we can't touch each other, except you did get me pregnant.
I gotta sit here and question whether, like, Komodo dragon cum is venomous. Like, that's what this show is forcing me to do. And
The
it's
only
not my
safe
fault.
liquid that comes from my body
is semen. Like, that's what I'm forced to reckon with because of the inconsistencies of BEASTARS' world, characters, plot points, themes, metaphors about racism, metaphors about men and women. Like, it's all just...
Who's your favorite character in BEASTARS?
Goheen.
Yeah.
Because he's so uninvolved that he's not fucked up by the rest of the show.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't... They didn't... Thank God they didn't bring back the one random, like, drug addict woman that turns herself into prison to come back.
I
and
liked
marry
that
him.
character. That was a good side story last season.
I did. I think if they brought back and just showed the wedding, I would be like, fuck this show. Because it's like...
I would accept her, like, working in the background in Goheen's shop. Right? Like, the apprenticeship has continued somehow.
Yeah, or her, like, waving to Pina when she's like, hey, you're here again, and then it sets the scene of, like, Pina goes to the prison all the time, and the introduction to the best part
also
of the anime.
goes... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or, like, Pina and
Goheen... Goheen and Pina, like, bump shoulders, like, as Goheen leaves the prison, right? That's all you need.
Yeah, no, that is some... I like Haru, and I wish, and I complained about this. This is basically my, like, universal anime complaint, is that there are not more Harus in anime. I want more promiscuous women, and women who act out, and we're not going to get them, and even when we do get them, they get, like, pushed to the back of the line because we got to give everyone
They lose their memories
else.
or they shrink to 1-inch characters.
Yeah, we just got to bring them back.
That's not a reference to anything.
Sam,
Mallory,
you need to rank BEASTARS Season 4 now.
Do I have to?
You do. And I'll remind you that Season 1 and Season 2 got a B for BEASTARS. Season 3 did not achieve getting a B for BEASTARS. I believe... It was maybe C, Cicadas. It was C in an anime summer.
Yes.
Where is Season 4 going to be going on your tier list?
It's tough, right? Because I like... I don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome. I don't know if it's... just the longer I spend with the series, the more I come to, like, yada yada its faults, and I come to appreciate the, like, good moments.
Mm-hmm.
I had the same experience with Heartstoppers, which we'll one day get back to. Please don't. We don't have to, but yeah, I assume we will. I think the middle chunk of the season is, like, maybe the second strongest compared to, like, season 1, probably. Like, I think that, like, I enjoy the individual scenes and character interactions, and everyone's just kind of vibing in a way that I enjoy a lot more. The plot has never been worse and inconsistent and leaving a lot on the table and thematically confused and just plot mechanic wise confused. Like, it has never been clunkier and more frustrating and hard to follow at times because of the direction of the anime and what they do and don't cut. I can't get over the fact that I didn't do the play, Mallory. I just can't get over it.
You wanted to see Adler.
I don't know. I didn't want to see it at all, but the fact that it's a major plot point for 2 seasons of an anime, and then it's like one still image as the credits play to the right side. Like, what are we doing? that is like such a sin to me with this. I'm going to give it Dark Fountains tier.
Whoa.
BEASTARS really fumbled the bag here at the end. It's a D for Dark Fountains.
The darkness emerges and sucks them in. Oh, they fall. Sam, my leg's hurting. Is someone I love getting in a fight right now?
Mallory, you know, sometimes we start the podcast and I have no idea what I'm going to pitch you.
Mm-hmm.
I just got like a couple vague ideas like rattling around up there. And then, you know, a hamster on a wheel spinning and the Haru Legoshi blowjob scene. That I had to remember. I didn't make sure we talked about in the podcast. I'd like to watch some good anime.
Okay.
I think that's not too much to ask, you know?
I think we've earned it.
At some point, there's two different pitches I have for you. Like, I will pitch you things that I love that I know you haven't seen, and I'll pitch you things that I haven't seen myself, but I've heard nothing but good things about. The two most popular properties that I've been dodging in my illustrious career as a very, very small manga and anime YouTuber at times when I don't get distracted by movies and video games, is Jujutsu Kaisen, which is unbelievably popular, and I've not seen a second of it.
Yeah.
And on the manga side of things is Witch Hat...
Atelier?
I don't even know how to say it. Atelier, thank you. Which is now getting an anime adaptation. Witch Hat Atelier. I think 3 episodes will have been out by the time we record again, maybe even 4. But the 3-episode anime test is like a sacred rite of passage, right?
Yes.
To like you get your vibes about the anime, and you go like, this is probably going to be good, or maybe I'll skip it, or maybe I'll put it on hold. I want to know what the hype's about.
I believe it was episode 3 of SAO where they said it's you die in the game, you die in real life. So
that is episode 1. But anyway,
they don't stop with the hits. Sorry.
There are some famous examples. I'm trying to think. There's
Madoka.
By episode Madoka's the clear one.
That's the only one I know that is like clearly the 3-episode rule. Dimension 20 has a 2-episode rule, I think. It's very similar to that you've already passed that. So we'll be talking about that later.
9-episode rule. Yeah, we'll get there in the summer. Mallory's done her homework a lot faster than I have. Yeah, so the first 3 episodes of Witch Hat Atelier. I will learn by next week.
Hell yeah.
I want to know what the deal is, you know, because I just see random art and manga panels and people I respect making videos that I don't watch because I'm scared of spoilers for years. And I want to know what the hype's about.
I'm excited to be able to differentiate this from Little Witch Academia.
There you go.
Because I'm like, well, they did the witch anime, moved on, next. So
next,
we'll see. We'll see if this one can improve on the. I'm just kidding. I'm probably gonna really enjoy this. I'm excited.
My understanding is it's phenomenal, but I don't know anything about it. So,
just based on the title and a bunch of other people saying it's good, I'm on board, and I have witch hats. So, goodbye to the rabbit ears.
Gone forever. Next week, better anime, hopefully. I can almost guarantee it, having not seen it.
Until then, Sam, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Mallory, have a good evening.